Ladies and gentlemen, the next 60 minutes of your life are not ordinary. They are not just another hour to be filled with noise, distractions, or empty motivation. This is an hour that can confront you, challenge you, and possibly change the direction of your life, if you allow it. Because the most dangerous thing a human being can do is live without awareness. And the most powerful thing a human being can do is wake up. Let's talk about time. The most valuable, the most fleeting, and the most misunderstood resource that every single human being has in equal measure. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what your circumstances are, you have the same 24 hours in a day. You cannot borrow it, you cannot buy it, you cannot pause it, and you cannot rewind it. Time is the ultimate equalizer, yet paradoxically, it is also the one thing most of us treat with the least respect. We squander it, waste it, and take it for granted, as though tomorrow will always show up to clean up the mess we made today. But here's the hard truth: it won't. Tomorrow is nothing more than the continuation of today. And if today is wasted, tomorrow will be no different. Time is not renewable. Once a second passes, it is gone forever. No amount of money, no power, no influence can bring it back. You may have heard people say, "I'll make up for lost time someday," but the reality is, you never can. Those moments you let slip through your fingers, whether it's an hour spent scrolling mindlessly on social media, a week spent complaining without acting, or months spent procrastinating, are gone. And in a few years, when you look back at your life, you'll realize that time was the only true wealth you had, and you spent it carelessly. But while time is not renewable, it is controllable. This is the paradox that so few people fully grasp. You cannot create more hours in a day, but you can control how you spend the hours you have. You can decide whether to use your time to build your dreams, improve yourself, and grow into the person you were meant to be, or to let it slip through your fingers, wasted on things that don't matter. Control over your time equals control over your life. And yet, most people act as though they are powerless over it. They allow distractions to dictate their days. They let other people's priorities become their own. They drift through life reacting to events instead of creating their own. Think about it. When you truly examine your daily schedule, how much of your time is spent on autopilot? How much of it is lost to trivial habits that provide immediate comfort but no long-term value? How often do you find yourself saying, "I'll get to it later," only to discover that later never comes? Every hour that passes without intentional action is an hour surrendered to mediocrity. Every hour spent doing nothing meaningful is an hour that could have been invested in your future, in your skills, in your health, in your relationships, in your dreams. Time waits for no one. It doesn't care about your excuses, your fears, or your lack of motivation. The good news is that because time is controllable, you can take action. You can decide today to stop letting it control you and start controlling it instead. Start by taking a brutally honest look at how you spend each day. Track your hours. Break down your week. Notice where your time goes. You'll be shocked to see how much of it evaporates into distractions, unnecessary scrolling, mindless meetings, or activities that do not move you forward. Awareness is the first step toward mastery. Once you see where your time is going, you can begin to make deliberate choices about how to use it. Mastering your time doesn't mean doing everything. It doesn't mean filling every hour with work or productivity. It means aligning your time with your purpose. It means understanding that the hours you have are finite and must be respected. It means asking yourself every morning, what one thing today will make the biggest difference in my life? And then focusing relentlessly on that one thing until it's done. It means protecting your time like the precious resource it is. It means saying no to things that steal your energy and yes to things that build your future. Time is also about prioritization. Most people think they are too busy to achieve greatness, but the truth is, they are simply busy with the wrong things. They fill their days with minor tasks, distractions, and other people's agendas while their own dreams remain on the back burner. But here's the key: you can control your time by controlling your priorities. You can choose to dedicate the most valuable hours of your day to activities that bring progress, growth, and fulfillment, instead of letting them slip away on meaningless pursuits. Control your time, and you control your results. Another aspect of time is consistency. Every great achievement, every extraordinary life, is built not through occasional bursts of effort, but through consistent, intentional use of time. 1 hour a day of deliberate action may seem insignificant, but over a year, it adds up to more than most people accomplish in a lifetime. Time is a magnifier. It rewards those who respect it and punishes those who ignore it. Small, consistent actions taken today compound into massive results tomorrow. The more control you have over how you use your hours, the more control you have over the trajectory of your life. Finally, controlling your time also means taking responsibility. Stop blaming circumstances, other people, or luck for your lack of progress. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions or the perfect moment. The only way to gain more control over your life is to gain more control over your time. Treat it as the irreplaceable asset it is. Invest it wisely, spend it intentionally, and guard it fiercely. Every moment is a choice. Every hour is a test. How you use your time today determines the quality of your tomorrow. You cannot create more time, but you can take full control of the time you have. And when you do, when you finally recognize that time is not your enemy but your greatest ally, that is when your life truly begins. Ladies and gentlemen, change does not happen by accident. Transformation is not a matter of wishful thinking, and it is certainly not a matter of repeating the same routines while hoping for different results. True change begins with awareness. Awareness is the moment you stop living life on autopilot and start truly seeing yourself, your habits, your choices, and the world around you. It is the moment you stop blaming circumstances or others and take an honest look in the mirror, even when what you see is uncomfortable. Without awareness, we are like a ship drifting in the ocean without a rudder, at the mercy of winds, currents, and storms. Awareness gives us the rudder, the compass, and the map, showing us where we are, where we want to go, and what we need to do to get there. Most people never experience real awareness. Because it requires brutal honesty. It requires looking at the truth of their lives without excuses, without distractions, without the comforting lies we tell ourselves. We tell ourselves, "I'm too tired, I don't have enough time, I'll start tomorrow." These statements are not reflections of reality. They are ways to avoid seeing the truth about how much we are underperforming, how much potential we are wasting, and how much responsibility we are shirking. Awareness forces us to confront the gap between who we are and who we could be. It forces us to acknowledge the moments we've wasted, the opportunities we've ignored, and the fears we've allowed to control our actions. Awareness is not just about seeing your failures or weaknesses. It is about recognizing your patterns. It is about understanding how your daily choices shape your future. Every habit, every decision, every thought has consequences, whether you realize it or not. Awareness allows you to step back and examine these consequences, to understand the chain reactions that begin with even the smallest actions. Without awareness, we live reactively, responding to circumstances instead of creating our lives intentionally. We get caught in loops of self-sabotage, repeating the same mistakes, wondering why nothing changes. Awareness is the first step to breaking that cycle. To become truly aware, you must learn to observe yourself without judgment. Many people confuse awareness with self-criticism. They believe that noticing a flaw or mistake means they must punish themselves or feel guilty. This is a misconception. Awareness is neutral. It is simply the act of seeing clearly. When you notice a habit that doesn't serve you, you do not need to feel shame. When you see an opportunity you missed, you do not need to dwell in regret. Awareness is the beginning of understanding, and understanding is the beginning of action. Once you see clearly, you can decide consciously what to change, what to keep, and what to remove from your life. Awareness also extends beyond yourself. It includes understanding the world around you, the people you interact with, and the environment you live in. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they are unaware of the forces that influence their decisions, the subtle pressures that shape their habits, and the opportunities that are right in front of them. Awareness allows you to identify these forces and take control. It allows you to separate the noise from what truly matters. In life, distractions are everywhere. Social media, toxic relationships, pointless conflicts, endless entertainment. Awareness helps you see these distractions for what they are and choose consciously where to focus your energy. Once awareness takes root, it naturally creates urgency. The moment you see clearly where you are and where you could be, you feel the pressure to act. Awareness does not leave you in passive reflection. It compels you to make decisions, take and embrace responsibility. Without awareness, people drift. With awareness, even the smallest action carries power because it is aligned with knowledge and purpose. Awareness is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly you see the obstacles, the pathways, and the possibilities that were invisible before. And once you see them, you cannot unsee them. You are forced to confront your reality, and confronting reality is always the first step toward changing it. Awareness is also deeply personal. It requires you to understand your own mind, your triggers, your fears, your motivations. Many people are unaware of what drives them or what holds them back. They live according to habits, societal expectations, or other people's definitions of success. Awareness asks the question, who am I really? What do I truly want? What am I avoiding? It forces you to face the answers honestly, without hiding behind excuses or distractions. This self-awareness becomes the foundation of all meaningful growth because you cannot improve what you do not understand. It's important to recognize that awareness is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process. Every day presents new opportunities to observe yourself, your choices, and your results. Every interaction, every challenge, every moment of reflection is a chance to become more aware. The more aware you are, the less power external circumstances have over you. Awareness allows you to respond rather than react, to choose rather than drift, and to grow rather than stagnate. It turns passive living into active creation. Awareness is the mirror that shows us both the truth of our limitations and the vast potential within us. It is the seed from which every act of courage, every step of progress, and every moment of meaningful change grows. Without awareness, we remain trapped in cycles of mediocrity, unaware of the choices that keep us from the life we could lead. With awareness, we gain clarity, purpose, and control. Awareness is the first step because until we see, we cannot act. Until we understand, we cannot change. And once we embrace awareness fully, every decision, every action, and every moment of our life begins to move us closer to the person we were meant to become. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most eye-opening truths you will ever encounter in life is this: the greatest limits you face are not set by the world around you, they are set by you. Most of the barriers we believe exist, those walls that seem impossible to climb, those ceilings that seem impossible to break, are not real. They are constructed in our minds. They are built by fear, doubt, and old beliefs that we have accepted without question. We live our lives as though invisible chains are holding us back, when in reality, those chains are nothing more than the stories we tell ourselves. We convince ourselves that we are not capable, not deserving, not ready, or not strong enough. We allow a past failure, a single mistake, or anyone else's opinion to dictate what we believe we can achieve. But here's the truth: the world does not define your limits, you do. Most people underestimate the power of their own mind. They look at challenges and see impossibilities, when what they are really seeing is fear disguised as reality. Fear whispers, "You cannot do this. It's too risky. You will fail." Because we listen to that voice so often, it becomes a rule rather than a suggestion. We obey it, and our lives shrink to fit within the boundaries of imagined limits. But those boundaries are false. They are illusions created by doubt, insecurity, and inaction. History is full of examples of people who refused to accept the limits others placed on them, and, as a result, changed the world. Every inventor, every entrepreneur, every athlete who achieved greatness faced doubters, obstacles, and seemingly impossible odds. Yet they succeeded because they recognized that limits are not external, they are optional. The problem is that many of us confuse comfort with safety and call it reality. We stay within our so-called limits because stepping beyond them feels uncomfortable. We tell ourselves, "This is as far as I can go," when in reality we are just avoiding the discomfort of growth. Growth is never comfortable. Pursuing excellence, achieving greatness, or changing your life requires stepping into the unknown. It requires stretching beyond what you believe you are capable of. And the moment you do, you realize that the limits you once feared were never real. They were only mental barriers you had accepted as truth. Self-imposed limits often take the form of excuses. We say, "I don't have the resources, I don't have the time, I don't have the education, or I'm not talented enough." These statements feel real because they are based on conditions outside our control. But the deeper truth is that they mask a deeper fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of taking responsibility for our own potential. Excuses are the glue that keeps us trapped within the limits we create. They provide temporary comfort, but they also guarantee mediocrity. The moment you recognize that excuses are optional, that you have the power to act despite them, is the moment you begin to remove the walls that have been holding you back. Another form of self-created limits comes from comparison. We look at others and decide we cannot achieve what they have because we are not like them. We tell ourselves that we do not have the same opportunities, the same luck, the same connections. But here's the secret: your path is your own. Someone else's success does not define your potential, it only proves what is possible. When limits are ignored, every individual has unique strengths, unique talents, and unique circumstances. Comparing yourself to others only strengthens the imaginary chains you have placed around your own life. The key is to focus on your own abilities, to identify your own potential, and to refuse to accept the limits that fear and doubt try to impose on you. Self-created limits are reinforced by past experiences, but even the past is not a prison. Many people carry the weight of old failures and mistakes as if they are permanent markers of ability. They say, "I failed before, so I cannot succeed now." But failure is not evidence of incapability, it is evidence of effort. Every failure carries lessons, insight, and opportunity. The only real limit is the one that prevents you from trying again. The moment you stop seeing your past mistakes as walls and start seeing them as stepping stones, you shatter the illusion of limitation. Your history does not define your future, your choices in the present do. The most important point about self-created limits is that they can be removed, but only by awareness, courage, and action. Awareness allows you to recognize that the chains you feel are not real. Courage allows you to challenge them. Action allows you to step through them. It is not enough to say, "I want more," or "I deserve better." You must actively dismantle the mental barriers that hold you back. You must confront the fears that tell you to settle. You must reject the narratives you have been living under, and write new ones that reflect what is truly possible. Every time you step beyond a limit you thought was real, the world expands for you. Every time you take action despite fear or doubt, you prove to yourself that the boundaries you imagined were never there. The life you live today is the direct result of the limits you have accepted. If your life feels small, it is because you have allowed your mind to shrink before you ever tried. If your dreams feel impossible, it is because you have believed in boundaries that exist only in thought. You are capable of far more than you have been willing to believe. The moment you stop allowing fear, doubt, and past failures to define your reality, the moment you recognize that limits are self-created, you unlock a world of potential that has been waiting for you all along. Most limits are illusions. Most barriers exist only in your mind. The world is not stopping you. Circumstances are not stopping you. Other people are not stopping you. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is the story you have been telling yourself about what you can and cannot do. Rewrite that story. Challenge it, test it, break it, and in the process, discover that your potential has no boundaries except those you choose to accept. Ladies and gentlemen, comfort is a silent enemy. It does not announce itself. It does not attack openly. It does not come with warning signs. Comfort whispers, it seduces, and it lulls you into a false sense of security. At first, it feels harmless, even pleasant. You tell yourself, "I deserve this," or "I've earned a break," and on the surface it seems reasonable. But comfort is deceptive. What begins as a small indulgence or avoidance gradually becomes a cage, and inside that cage, your potential quietly withers. It robs you of urgency, ambition, and the relentless drive needed to achieve extraordinary things. Most people underestimate the cost of comfort because its damage is invisible at first. The harm accumulates slowly, silently, until one day, years later, they look back and realize they have wasted the very years they claim to value. The problem with comfort is that it feels safe. It tricks your mind into believing that staying where you are is a wise choice. You settle into routines, habits, and environments that are familiar, convenient, and predictable. You avoid the discomfort of growth, risk, and challenge. You delay the work that scares you and take refuge in what is easy. Over time, you become complacent. You stop pushing your limits. You stop testing your abilities. You stop challenging yourself. What was once a tool for relaxation and restoration becomes a trap for stagnation. The more comfortable you allow yourself to be, the less capable you become of rising to challenges when they inevitably appear. Comfort also fosters fear disguised as rationality. People convince themselves that staying in their comfort zone is smart, responsible, or practical. They say, "I'm too busy right now, it's not the right time, or I'll start later." But what they are really doing is avoiding discomfort. The truth is that nothing in life that is worth achieving comes from comfort. Every accomplishment, every breakthrough, every moment of personal evolution is born from effort, struggle, and the willingness to step into the unknown. Comfort, by contrast, quietly convinces you that growth is optional, that mediocrity is acceptable, and that the life you truly desire can wait. But it cannot. Life does not wait, and comfort will not save you. It will only keep you trapped where you are. Another way comfort destroys potential is by dulling ambition. When your mind becomes accustomed to ease, you stop dreaming big. You stop imagining what is possible. You stop asking yourself the hard questions. What could I achieve if I stopped holding myself back? What if I refused to let fear dictate my choices? What if I treated discomfort as a sign I was growing rather than a signal to retreat? Comfort convinces you that small wins are sufficient and that the extraordinary is too far out of reach. It dims the fire inside you, and before you know it, your life becomes a series of safe, predictable days rather than a journey toward something meaningful. The insidious nature of comfort is that it disguises itself as happiness. You may feel content, even satisfied, while the years slip by. You tell yourself, "I am okay where I am." And in the moment, it feels true. But real fulfillment does not come from avoiding challenges. It comes from striving, from growing, from testing the limits of what you can achieve. Comfort tricks you into mistaking ease for success, and in doing so, it silently robs you of the very life you were capable of creating. People who live comfortably may seem peaceful, but inside, they carry untapped potential, unfulfilled dreams, and a quiet regret they rarely acknowledge. Consider how comfort affects decisions, habits, and routines. Every time you choose the easier path over the more challenging one, you train your mind to settle. Every time you avoid discomfort, you teach yourself that fear is a valid excuse. Every time you prioritize short-term pleasure over long-term gain, you reinforce limits you don't need. Over months and years, these small choices compound, shaping the person you become. A person who consistently chooses comfort will find that opportunities slip past them, growth stalls, and potential remains locked away. In contrast, the person willing to embrace discomfort, take risks, and face challenges head-on experiences exponential growth. Not because life is magically easier for them, but because they refuse to allow comfort to dictate their journey. Comfort is also dangerous because it is contagious. Surround yourself with people who prioritize ease, safety, and convenience over growth, and you will inevitably adopt similar habits. You will start to rationalize mediocrity. You will begin to accept excuses. The culture of comfort spreads quietly, infecting ambition, drive, and resilience. To protect your potential, you must recognize that your environment plays a critical role. You cannot allow comfort, whether it comes from your own choices or those around you, to dictate the trajectory of your life. You must seek challenges, surround yourself with people who push you, and create conditions that demand growth rather than compliance. The antidote to comfort is deliberate discomfort. Growth requires it. Progress demands it. Greatness is impossible without it. If you want to unlock your true potential, you must be willing to embrace situations that make you nervous, tasks that feel difficult, and actions that challenge your current abilities. Every time you do, you expand your limits. Every time you embrace discomfort, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you believed. This is how potential becomes reality. Every champion, every visionary, every person who has achieved extraordinary success has learned to welcome discomfort, not avoid it. Ladies and gentlemen, comfort is seductive, and it is silent, but it is not inevitable. It is a choice. You can choose to live comfortably and settle for a life of mediocrity, or you can choose to step into discomfort and pursue your highest potential. Every moment you delay growth for comfort is a moment lost, a moment that can never be reclaimed. Comfort is the quiet thief of dreams, the hidden barrier to success, and the enemy of progress. But awareness, courage, and action can break its hold. The moment you recognize the danger of comfort, refuse to settle, and embrace the challenges that lie ahead, You take the first step toward unlocking the potential that has been quietly waiting for you all along.